Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have two public rounds for you. The first map here is on Anderson's counterattack. You're seeing an overview of that, followed up by our second map here, which is Reno's Fall. I have personally not watched Reno's Fall in a very long time. I'm excited to watch that. Thank you to our Patreon members for the support. If you'd like to support, go to the link in the description where you can get live broadcasts of everything we do. You can advertise your regiment on the bottom of our videos and get raw gameplay footage of events with no commentary and UI. Our server size, it's about 230. It is a Monday night here, June 3rd, about 7 o'clock. So server balance about even. Unenlisted players about even. So this is truly a balanced server. Surprising to see. CSA officers, you got Arctics, Krabby Root, SC Volunteer, Comet Ironheart, no artillery for CSA. Union, on the other hand, you got Senior Daz, you got Abraham Lincoln, Snacks or Colt, Matthias, and then for the artillery, you got Pat. Joining me today, we got medical services. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Medical Services. I played pub arty a lot. I'm pretty much solely play arty and regimental and pubs. Happy to be here.
Halt, gentlemen, halt.
Yeah, and we are glad to have you. So CSA is kind of pushing up on this right side. So as with your artillery experience, we normally don't get people that solely focus on artillery, which is I'm very happy to have you here for that reason. So you play Union or CSA most of the time?
Whoever has better arty.
That's
usually Union though.
That's fair. So what would you do for Union artillery on this map for Union? It's in a tricky spot.
Yeah. Well, I would normally tell everyone to get on one gun and one caisson, so they have time, and I'd get them to roll back to the wooded area to the south, under these first trees. It's generally the safest area where CSA can't reach them. And if they do run into the west woods, like they are now, then they can just roll their guns back a little further. The safest option, in my opinion.
Indeed. CSA starting to push up. Yeah, Union artillery is right on top of the point, which in the middle of the open with trees surrounded. It's a hard position, so that makes sense. We got CSA pushing up aggressively on the right. Some CSA charging in, that really failing out.
Hey, boys,
Good chunk of Union holding on this side too. A Confederate company going on the other side, but Union artillery and infantry is there.
It looks like Krabby wanted an easy arty wipe, but is met by a whole company.
Yeah, usually you don't see Union holding out over here, and Union's kind of just abandoning their artillery, which is really weird that they held there and now just instantly fell back.
No, sir, come back.
Yeah.
Union falling back a little, CSA charging on the right as well. And CSA's lobbed up, Union's not. Simple calculation.
Reform the line,
Union is not working together right now.
No, they're not. That group charging over, Senior Daz from the other side now getting in here. And these guys should probably get wiped too. You can already see it in the ticket count. Holy crap. And Union artillery somehow still alive, rolling some guns back.
Yeah, they haven't been spawn trapped yet, but they're not making it out of there now. That's for sure.
Hey, turn right.
CSA charging up now. Snaxler Cole is charging on the CSA right, but only with a few guys and a couple of Union guys who stayed behind. Great out of lines for CSA. Looking on the other side, you got Krabby Brew not going for the artillery and going for Abraham Lincoln, who knew he was a general on the battlefield. But I really like what CSA is doing here.
Stop running!
Get these guys, get them off the rocks. I don't care.
This is
CSA just does not care. They're just waving their big blob around, hoping it works out.
Yeah, I mean, Union charging from behind now. Snacks or Colts guys, they'll probably get wiped, but I mean, the round before this, Union barely won Hatchet's attack, which you never see Union win that map. So I think CSA is out for some blood here, wanting to get a win. Oh, Abraham Lincoln charging up Krabby Brute. All Krabby's guys are running back. Krabby stays. CSA have taken the woods, so Now, we've kind of been mentioning communication up till now. So how do you like to communicate with the infantry officers in public matches? Because generally, for the most part, artillery is kind of farther away from where the line is. So how do you like to communicate with them? Or do you not?
Well, all I've discovered that works is asking infantry to say when they're charging about 2 minutes in advance so I can set up my volley. But aside from that, pubs is really just a turkey shoot for 30. Hope you have good aimers. Hope your infantry is predictable.
Is there any change between that and regimentals in terms of communication?
Fire your weapons.
I don't lead so much. I'm just a private in the regimental, but there are set plans. For example, on Eastwood Skirmish, you usually volley the Tree of Life, which is the tree that Union charges on the far west side, I believe. So sometimes you coordinate with infantry more. Usually it's just shoot whatever you can.
That's very fair. So CSA really kind of reforming. I don't know if they mean to cap. There's a lot of spread out Rambo guys here. They shouldn't cap. They're so far ahead in tickets, I don't think it's necessary at this point, but a fair amount of Union are holding back. So
I would definitely say early capping is a mistake, but this seems to be low-level Rambos that don't even know what they're doing, unfortunately.
yeah. I mean, wait a few minutes at least before doing it, but that's the thing with pubs. The unpredictability is what makes it very fun, especially to watch in my opinion. So CSA cap. So if you don't know how this works, 20-minute mark, or sorry, depending on what stage the defending team is in, the attackers will have to hold the point for a certain amount of time or just outright win the game when they capture. So defenders are in that first morale stage of battle ready, so the attackers have to hold the point for 20 minutes. You can see that in that yellow timer. If the defending team retakes the point, they will regain some tickets if they have a lower percentage of tickets than the attacking team, which right now Union is down a fair amount percentage-wise. So that's the gist of it. So Union starting to push up, getting a little more aggressive. CSA countering, looking where Union positions are at. Snaxer Cole is volleying from distance. Senior Daz there as well. And Matthias and Pat up on the right side with Abraham Lincoln around the artillery. Obviously the black timer is stopped, so essentially everyone's losing tickets with the black timer stopped, and that's always great for the attacking team. In most instances, if you're ahead by a fair amount of tickets, it's not necessarily a good thing because the defenders can regain a lot, but it's still good for the attackers as they're lowering everybody's tickets. And Abraham Lincoln looks like he's going to be charged here.
I would say an early cap at battle ready is better than an early cap at taking losses because you have more time to spread the gap between the morale stages than if you were to cap right before breaking. It might even work out for CSA here because Union cannot coordinate an attack, so they might just win in this 18 minutes that they have.
Yeah, that's the thing with the counterattack phase. Union go down to engage that as the defending team, you want to retake that point as quickly as possible, and because Union's so spread out, it's going to be hard to do that. You might ask, well, why does Union want to retake the point quickly? Union's goal is to get the black timer to 0. It's currently not moving. You want to keep it moving, so Union has to retake point. And as I mentioned before, everyone's losing tickets right now, which is great for the attackers. Because, right, so it goes, the stages go battle ready, then engage, which is what the Union's at. You have taken losses, breaking, and then each side's final stage. If the defending team is in their last stage or breaking, then if the attacking team caps point, they win automatically. So this is great for the attackers. Union very spread out, going in very piecemeal, and CSA is wiping that, just making a nice defensive line. So I guess that leads into another question. So when CSA is kind of taken over your battery in pubs, do you wait to spawn on it, or do you spawn main? Do you tell your guys to get off the guns, or do you just, what do you do if CSA is taking your guns?
In regimental, I'd probably run away
All right, let's pull
or
back. Let's pull back.
wipe
Pull back.
my
Pull back. They will
guys
charge
by
us out.
doing a purposeful countercharge. But in pubs, can't really tell them what to do. They just do
Right.
Let
whatever
they
they
have it,
want.
then get wiped out.
Ideally,
We're not doing last stance, boys.
ideally we send a few shots as they're right in front of us into the ground and then run away, but that doesn't happen.
But if they have your battery for an extended period of time, do you switch to infantry or do you just sit and wait to see when it reopens?
I'd swap to infantry in regimental for sure. There's no point in taking arty if you can't play it.
Right. CSA kind of converging around the point. Pat with his artillery after. Oh, rip. But Union's still operating one gun. I don't know if they can get any ammo though from this. A little far away.
Their selfishness at the start of the round is kicking them in the butt right now.
Yeah. And they're being charged out.
Like right now is why I would like my gun to be positioned behind point on the road. You can look at all the CSA you can hit right now.
Yep. Some Confederates actually pushing really up towards Union spawn. Thies is going to take him out. Almost a fourth of the way through the counterattack phase, and CSA is doing a good job. That's the thing with counterattack too, is obviously it's going to force that defending team to come out and engage with you, which sometimes the defending team will sit back or kind of turtle as they call it. Nope. SD volunteers going to the right. Union's kind of going through the woods now, except for I think Abraham Lincoln's company.
Smoke out there is not friendly.
What is he doing?
I think this is very unlikely for Union to win already. Their only chance is to hope they can kill far more CSA than die after they counterattack. After they capture.
Yeah. I mean, Union has plenty of time to try to push the Confederates to the last stand because since the Confederates took the point, they're defending it, which means they're the defenders, meaning they get the defending team's final stage of last stand. And if they hit last stand and the attacking team retakes, they can win.
Probably won't happen in 14 minutes though.
Yeah, I agree. If Union did want to do that, they would have had to been charging as a whole team this entire time.
Yeah,
they cannot be sitting back and shooting. So, what got you in the War of Rights?
Well, I don't know if your viewers will hear what you told me right before we started this round, but Cody HD came for me. I watched his arty vids. Looked really cool. Joined up. It was interesting, and I've played arty ever since.
So, what year did you get the game, and how long have you been playing it?
Really? You'll be a bit surprised here. I'm been playing a lot. I've played since December. I got the game for Christmas last year, and it's been my only game, and I'm level 66.
Holy crap!
I know.
That's a heck of a thing, though. Hey, if you like the game, though, and I mean, clearly you do. That's all that really matters in the end, right?
Too late to have a good idea.
One of the worst changes to arty so far has been the 20% ticket increase.
Oh, of course. Can't deal as many tickets. A Union kind of charging in now. Very spread out, but a charge nonetheless. Yeah, kind of hitting on the top side first.
Yeah, and who's this sitting back? Daz is just kind of sitting back, watching this team die.
Now he's going in.
Hold the ground, I don't give a shit. Hold the ground, I don't give a shit.
No.
Oh, the lift part went in. That's crazy.
Oh, they got demolished.
And DSA, oh, never mind. There's a whole company still holding behind the Union caissons.
We got Buck and Ball. They go first one.
I like what the Union's flags are doing. They're holding by the logs so that they can continue the charge for longer. That's smart.
We have enough people. Hey, can we counter
So
charge this new
Union
company?
should prevail here in the end.
Counter charge.
Oh, never mind. I'm looking from CSA viewpoint, and I don't see anyone behind me. It's like, well, Union win, and then you're like, oh, the joys of perspective.
It was a battle of flag spawns, and I think the CSA had one extra flag. So, womp womp Union.
Off the rocks. Get off the rocks.
And the that 20% change you were talking about was because of the flag change. They made it so people could spawn in every 5 seconds instead of 10, which means people are going to be spawning in more, meaning more charges, more action overall, less waiting around, which meant the rounds were going significantly faster.
Here they come.
And because of that, developers did the ticket change where each death is, I think, worth 20% less tickets, which obviously hurts artillery by a fair amount.
I wasn't around for it, but I've heard that Artie was better, more destructive when they were first introduced, like area of effect wise.
I didn't play a whole lot of artillery when it came out. I do remember those few bit of days exciting. I mean, War of Rights peaked in players around that time. Recently, that peak got beat. It took 4 years, which is a crazy thing to say when you talk about artillery. Union trying to move in from spawning. CSA kind of shooting them where they're holding out. 10 minutes left in the counterattack.
So the flag on red is still down.
I mean, Confederates are just locking this map down entirely. Union spawns just trickling and dying. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
It's obvious that the CSA has more experienced officers. We talked about it before last round that SC volunteer is actually Ian, and I think he's level 90 or something. And I think a part of it is also CSA seems to have a culture of coordination rather than Union's culture of arguing.
Yeah, CSA is consistently way more blobbed up and moving as a group compared to Union, who generally tends to spread into 3 or 4 groups.
Yeah, they all have
He's a
their
man
own
of
separate
God. He's a
ideas of
man
what
of
they want
God.
to do, and it just
He's a man of God, bro.
maybe isolated they're good ideas, but when you try and do them all at once, it's just too fickle, too small of an attack.
Yeah, Union falling back in the woods. And I know this is a long ago change, but it used to be where so right now in the game, each regiment has 2 companies. Like, for example, Union has 9th New York Company A, 9th New York Company B. It used to be just 9th New York. There were no companies, so there's only 2 infantry officers per side. And some would say that there's more cooks in the kitchen, more people with ideas that want to do their things their way, more chances for arguing, and more chances for failure because you go off on your own. And there's an argument for that, but I mean, we can see the CSA working very well together. So I think it just is a matter of being able to do that.
Form a line here, basically. Form a line right here.
Also, some maps are just biased towards others. CSA obviously has a bias on this map. When you're the attackers, you obviously have the advantage.
Yeah, I wouldn't chalk this one up to bias. It obviously plays a part, but Union made so many mistakes at the beginning, and
Entirely.
can't just blame bias.
Otherwise, we have a one-man in bias. Imbalanced. This is unfair. And yeah, I mean,
Union
yeah,
actually has- Union has 4 more players, it says. Although they have, they have 4 more players. Same amount of
CSA
recruits.
must be hacking then if they're winning this game. I hate to break
Clearly,
it to you.
Arctic spectating.
According to studies, it says Anderson's counterattack CSA has 10% more tickets, which isn't a whole lot. So, I mean, I bet the CSA has been playing this round brilliantly. Union's been defeated in detail in its entirety. I mean, you can even see now you got 2 Union companies pushing to where Union artillery was towards the point. You got one
Alright.
company kind of holding towards the spawn, and then one on the far right.
Is Union on point right now? That's not decay.
I think that's
Union's on
fast.
point.
Yeah, I think Union's on point. Points are so weird in this game.
Let's move in, let's move in.
Bro. I don't think CSA's realized that they're not trying to. I mean,
Now
if
they
I
are.
were them, I'd try and hold for the 6 extra minutes.
I mean, might as well. They've been holding. I mean, look at that. They're up 3/4 of a morale stage.
Hold right here, on this line, fire well.
Worst comes to worst, they go like probably halfway through breaking. I don't think they'll go last stand though.
I don't think either. 2 whole morale stage in 6 minutes when Union has only charged once. That's not happening.
Fire rotations, boys. Fire rotations.
The Union charging on the other side of the map, though.
Get those flags back. Get those flags back. Get those flags back, boys.
So, Union slammed in the CSA, and a Union or CSA infantry officer started telling his guys to retreat in the middle of a melee, which in real life can make sense because manpower actually matters a little more in the long term than in a Civil War game such as War of Rights. But War of Rights, right? Everything comes down to tickets, and you're always going to have the same amount of people on your team. So you should never retreat once you're already engaged in a charge, right? Because if you start telling your guys to retreat, your guys will turn and run, which means your enemy's going to kill your guys and you're not going to kill them. So it's going to be a huge ticket imbalance to open up here. Obviously, if you have time to leave, then leave, right? But if they're right on top of you, don't retreat at that point. It's too late.
Except for the flag. Flag should try and run back to spawn.
Of course.
If
Of
it's
course.
flag.
Of course.
We're gonna be bracing this one.
I don't know if Snack knows what he's doing, but I think it's working. He's pulling guys away from the main group.
Union's kind of enveloped the CSA right now. 4 and almost a half minutes now.
I almost think encirclement is worse than just blobbing up. 'Cause even if all of Union somehow coordinates the charge at the exact same time, I think CSA will still hold. I think in real life, there's more emphasis on not being surrounded.
Yeah. I mean, why is... So SC Volunteer is pulling his guys off point. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? Even if Union coordinates a charge, if CSA plays their hands right in defending, they could, again, defeat in detail. CSA is pulling further back as Union starts inching their way forward. They're still on point. A red bar in their favor. What is SC Volunteer doing? Krabby Boots pulling up from main. Union's starting to inch further forward.
I just don't think these newer officers are checking their chat enough.
There's Union artillery.
Here goes the left side push. Hopefully this works out for them.
Yeah, Fairmont of Confederates holding in the woods. Point drastically going in Union's favor now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that wood force is for.
They gotta... I would think they charge in to help their friendlies.
Yeah, were
Union
they
not
trying to
charged.
make
Now Union charging on the other side. CSA coming out of the woods.
I think they were trying to get Union to charge by looking like they were smaller.
Maybe.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it just meant that there was an imbalance. First part of the melee, it meant more CSA died than Union. Not sure that was the right idea. Worth trying, I guess.
I mean, even if CSA lose, which it looks like they're going to, CSA will be at breaking, and I mean, both sides at breaking with 36.5 minutes left is going to be great for CSA.
CSA could shoot from spawn.
No way this flag bearer is going to get out. Oh, yeah, how do you miss that stat? Oh, hope he got him. Chain.
That is what I fight for.
I mean, yeah, Union's going to have to retake. They're doing it now. Both sides will be at a very, very low taking losses. Union might actually be in breaking. Because the attackers have an overall, they have more tickets than defenders overall. Percentage-wise, it's different. Oh, they're taking losses.
They would have to kill like 3 times as many Confederates as they die at this point.
Yeah, it'd have to be a heck of a pace. And now Union has to defend the point, which is great for CSA. They can spread themselves out in the woods and kind of engage. So CSA reforming, pushing their way up. Server pop at 290 now. Look at that. Union has a chance to reform, and let's see how they defend. Half the team holding about on the point. You got some on the corner rocks there, and then some holding back. Union finally take the point. Confederates down to breaking first.
Looks like CSA lost most of their flags, but they'll get them back in a few minutes, so that's not going to play a huge role. Actually, all of their flags. That's all.
Junior Daz holding his guys left in the woods. Holding further back on the right. You got Snacks and Colt, but yeah. CSA not having those flags for a moment.
Northeast, those trees and those rocks, let's fire.
So CSA, 3 companies up here, 1 still moving up. Snacks and Cold actually pushed his guys up on the right. CSA charged that they could defeat in detail. Looks like they're starting to come out of the woods.
We're getting lit up from the north.
CSA got a company holding in the woods. Krabby Brutes moving to the left. Got Artix and Comet Ironheart, who looks new, at least to this round. ST Volunteer kind of going down this right side.
Take aim, take aim, take aim.
I've seen Ironheart lead a few times before. Lower pop usually though.
2, 1, fire. Break reload, about face, into the woods to reload, gentlemen. No need to go back, boys.
Stacks and Colt pulling back as CSA is starting to get around their side. I mean, yeah, I think this is going to be a shootout for a while. Waiting for those flags to despawn. It takes about 5 minutes, I think, from once they get knocked down. Yep. But once they get them back in, they might move in for a charge. I mean, you got CSA respawns just chugging it over from main. So, outside of the, yeah?
I was just going to say, this is going to be a slow shootout for the rest of the game. Nothing interesting.
Yep. Some CSA pushing up to the rocks where Snacks and Colt was, but outside of that 20% thing, is there anything you'd like to see changed with artillery?
I wish, well, I made a suggestion post. I like how Artie used to sound. It sounded more beefy. That's a minor thing. I think Artie should be more damaging. Like, it should either knock people out from a further distance, suppress them from a further distance, or kill more people. Because I think even if you land a shot right at someone's feet with shell, you might even get just 1 kill, 1 or 2 kills. With Case, better. But with Case, I find you can get 1 kill right next to the explosion and another kill on the other end of the line from some random shrapnel or something.
Yeah,
Canister, I might almost say that Canister is more effective than Case or than Shell, at least within 300 yards. So at least you have a chance of killing 2.
What is that Artie shot from Union? That went like 20, like, I don't know, 10, 15 yards forward and then hit the ground, exploded and hit nobody. Yeah, I'm a Artie skeptic, that's for sure. I do agree. I don't think Artie gets enough kills. Like, as you say, you have a shot in the middle of the line. killed one or two guys, but a lot of missed.
It's for show. Right now, it's for show. They need
Yeah.
to do something.
I do think artillery is most effective at being, sorry, area of denial. That's what I think artillery is best at.
Infantry likes to think about arty as something they have to avoid, so they won't do certain strats. I think
Exactly.
that's something that arty gets as a given. They don't have to be good or bad. It just happens.
Yep. Sorry. Senior Dad's holding up on the left, and SC is pushing his way. But yeah, I think too many infantry guys. I have seen artillery get great hits before. It has happened, but more often I don't see that. I think too many infantry guys are scared of it. So like we just mentioned.
Right. It's hard to. There's some delay between when I talk and when your voice comes through.
Yeah, that's the always interesting thing about commentating online over a call. I mean, it happens.
Yeah. What I'm trying to introduce to pub arty recently by just taking an arty officer all the time is being obedient to the officer rather than just being bino carrier as the officer normally is. So I want the privates to listen and coordinate rather than Rambo on their gun essentially. 'Cause at the end of the day, I think arty is most effective when they volley right before an infantry charge.
Right.
So you see that on Nico Hill, you see that on Eastwood Skirmish. I don't know what else. It's very rare, but it's glorious when it happens.
So you would say most of the time people just get on guns, don't listen to the officers, and then just kind of shoot where they want to shoot?
Absolutely. Even experienced arty men, it's really just a chill experience. I think in real life, it's also just people who want to sit back and chill.
Yeah, that's for sure. I would imagine it's a nice way to get some XP too.
I don't know how that works, because I thought you were supposed to get less if you're aligned. But maybe there's a boost already.
So, well, it depends on how long you're in certain formation states. So obviously, if you're in formation, you're going to get more of it. I would assume artillery's in formation most of the time, is it not?
No, usually it's skirmishing or out of line. You're got like really tight together.
I must be mistaken then. Yeah.
Another thing, I guess I could add that to my list of things I want changed to arty. I think arty should be in line with 3 people next to them instead of a skirmish.
Because I think for infantry, information is at least for CSA capping. From where?
From the northwest, I think. These 3 guys.
These 3? Wow.
Yeah. I don't get it.
And Union's collapsing on point because of it for the most part. CSA's starting to move in Krabby Brute. They have their flags back. Union charging on the far side. I mean, this was the wild part about War of Rights is, like, you have nothing for a few minutes and then all of a sudden everything picks up out of nowhere. Charging happening on point.
Like right now, you could imagine if you have 4 guns rolled back and they all shoot charge. Not a lot of kills, but you knock them over enough.
Get them cheese.
CSA winning the point. A little overextended, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think this should be it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts for the first round here?
Well, I think I could chalk it up to that one Union company guarding arty at the start, causing an imbalance on the west side. So CSA could just kind of trample over what was left of the Union. And then from there, Union was just way too uncoordinated, inexperienced officers.
So we heard it here first. Artillery people do not want infantry to defend them whatsoever. I'm kidding. Yeah.
I said that before, actually.
Oh, crap. But yeah, no. Union very spread out. CSA very blob. Um, I think it really chalked down to that. Very good job holding the point. Union coordination wasn't all that. And I mean, that's the thing with the flag and the ticket changes is that blobbing up and charging as a team is what you have to do to win. And more often than not, if your team does that, you're going to win, regardless of if you're the attackers or defenders. But we'll see what happens in round number 2. We will see you shortly for that. And here we are with round number 2. About a 260-man server drop off after a round that always happens. CSA officers, you got Jackson, Waluigi, Arthur, Salem. You got Artix, no artillery. Union officers, you got Drywall, a Senior Daz, Hazard, Wick, Matthias, and for the artillery, Jack in balance, 3 in favor of the Union, but Union has 11 guys on artillery. So CSA in balance has 8 more infantrymen than the Union. Union artillery a little further back. What was your strategy, Medical B, for Union artillery on this map?
Ditch it. It doesn't work ever. What I have, if you are in a regiment like me, we have some ranges. We pull it back kind of to this eastern side of Artie spawn in the field, and we can just airburst the map. But for pubs, there's honestly, once they roll their guns up, they're being killed by infantry too much to use them.
Interesting. That's a surprising take. I'll explain why in a moment. CSA charging in, we kind of missed. They've wiped that first group, and Union spreading out instantly again, not coordinating, and CSA is taking advantage, just blotting over and running over. Draw wall falling back. A lot of Union holding on the stone wall. This is on point. The stone wall is... So the point, for some reason, shows over these rocks, but you can be on the road side of the stone wall and be on point. I wish they had a little option where I could turn on how big the point is, or like lines of where the point is as a spectator. It'd be really nice to see. Arthur's pursuing drywall. It's great. And Matthias as well. I think Matthias might have been that group that got wiped, but Union falling back.
I love that point about seeing the boundaries of point. That'd be very useful.
When I first joined IVB, I remember there being a Discord server when someone like drew out where the boundary was. Like they took their character and spent hours just fiddling around, seeing what point was and what point wasn't.
Because everybody's like, well, I'll just fire and shift.
And back in the day too, this was a while ago, but you used to not be able to see if your character was capturing the point or not. Because right now, if you go on point, it'll pop up saying you're capturing or defending the points. But in the past, you couldn't be able to see that. You had to look up and hope you were on point. So Union kind of crunching down. CSA playing this well. They obviously push through the woods. You do normally have a company or two go around into the corn to the right of Union and then hit them on their side. CSA not really doing that though. I'm kind of surprised that you said to ditch artillery, at least for pubs. Because most of the time I would expect artillery people to want to do it. I guess, what maps would you consider bad for artillery to where you wouldn't consider doing that in the pubs? Because for regimentals you said you have ranges, and so I assume for nearly every map that has artillery you have that out.
Yeah. Well, so this map is probably one of them. Then there's Garland Stand, Union Arty, CSA Arty's debatable. You can maybe fire canister. I can't think of many maps off the top of my head, but there certainly are a few of them where Arty just has awful shots, or you have to roll them for a year. Comes down to, like, if in pubs you can do it if you want to have fun, I don't care. But in regimental, you don't want to, like, these 11 guys just rolling cannons. You don't want that imbalance.
CSA looks like they're starting to push forward down the woods. What's your opinion of artillery on conquest and contention? I've seen you take groups of guys and run around and charge the enemy artillery towards later in the round. Actually, let's wait a moment. CSA is charging in right now. Arthur's hitting on this side of the stone wall. Again, they're on point. CSA in the woods still sitting back and shooting.
I don't think he wants the early cap. He just wants the kills.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate the aggression. Shooting down in this game is not that effective anymore. I've only seen it happen once in the month that I've been watching War of Rights, and I've at least been watching 2 to 4 rounds every single day for a month. and I've only seen shooting down work on one map. It was a Hagerstown Turnpike. Union destroyed CSA shooting them down in the Maryland campaign event, NA Saturday. But never seen shooting down work. You always have to charge. And Union getting completely curb stomped.
The punishment is more in your tickets now than the strength of your company. You won't get wiped by shooting, that's for sure.
Yeah. Shooting down a group is a lot slower pace than respawns now.
Don't touch my flag.
That's why the flag change was so controversial. Because the only way to take ground is by blobbing up and charging, for the most part.
I see in regimental, what they always do on this map is bring at least half the Union team to the north in this forest so that the CSA can't even hold this stone wall. I think it works quite well, at least regimental.
Yeah. This is really turning into a repeat of last round.
Yeah. Union just... Well, no, they're trying to get together here. We'll see. They're kind of forced to be together, really.
Right.
It was not us.
The map favors Union moving down this road into this woods a lot more than the other round. So yeah, what's your opinion with artillery on conquest contention? Again, I've seen you take groups of artillery when infantry isn't around fighting, and you just charge the enemy artillery across the map, which has been very funny to watch. But yeah, what's your opinion on that? I feel like, I don't know, I've seen it a couple times.
I think already on contention and conquest is better than on just plain skirmishing, because you have a single point to aim at rather than an area. It could be quite large. Also gives you options. Sometimes you'll have shots, sometimes you won't, but usually you'll have at least 10 minutes where you'll have shots, so that's nice. Although, on like 50% of the maps, they already can't hit anything, so that's disappointing.
Well, I mean, I guess, do you just sit around and talk, or just fight?
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys do?
Run to the other battery and talk, surrender, use their guns, coordinate a battery swap where one battery can shoot their... So like sometimes Union can shoot their own team, so if CSA goes to Union battery, then they can shoot the Union. It's kind of symbiotic leadership.
That's pretty funny. Some shenanigans.
All three,
Union officers are actually talking.
Go out together if we're gonna get messed up.
They are.
We need as many bodies out contesting the dirt field. I can contest the road with my rifles, but just let me know once you guys are crossing the dirt.
All
I'll
their
advance.
experienced officers.
And put pressure on that wall.
I missed most of that, but it sounded like they were splitting up a little bit, which we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Just like with any sports, despite all the odds not being in your favor, that's why you play the match, because you can win.
Yeah.
Company B in the field, let's go!
If I were Union, I'd go through the corn so I can cut my losses until I'm right up on them. I think the forest is lost hope, really.
Yeah, I think Union going through the corn, just as you said, going around, then trying to get up right up close to the CSA, get on the stone wall. If Union ever tries to cap the point inside the center of this field, CSA for that matter too, that's just dumb. The stone wall is where the fighting's at. Similar to Colquitt's defense, where CSA hold the top road there on point, CSA won't lose that game. You need to take that stone wall in this round, or else you're not winning this game. So Matthias, Hazard, Wick moving through the corn, Drywall moving this way. Senior Daz with most of the guys holding still in the woods.
1 second, I'm gonna send one more telegram.
Yeah, as you can tell from already, even rolled up this far, they spent 10 minutes rolling up, but they can't hit anything. Just because of the defilade on point.
State your name and address for the record, please.
The in-game text chat for Union, it's kind of funny. Someone's trying to have a one-on-one with Bradley.
See, is Bradley a flag bearer right now? That'd be funny. Oh, he is.
That would be fun. Hey! You know, the amount of work he... Oh my goodness, Union's getting shredded. What is Union doing? Why are they sitting in the middle of the field?
I
This
don't think
pains
they
me.
talked about this. I could wager that this was not discussed.
Mozilla off on his own. Scouting is always well, Mozilla. But what is Union doing? What the heck were they thinking? And now Senior Daz is pushing up through the woods. Again, Union as a team should push through the corn in complete cover and slam to the CSA. You're not going to win trying to go into the open field. You just saw what happens when Union does that.
It's the old pontoon strat. It's a diversionary tactic. Trust.
Trust. Yeah. Across the flan. Union now pushing down. I mean, Union has 2, maybe 3 flags over here. 2, I see. But now they're inching down the corn. But now CSA is fully prepared up on that stone wall.
There's no chance. Look, Krabby's pulling back. Dad's pulling back.
Shifting left, shifting left, shifting left, shifting left. Shifting left in here.
And Union's so spread out right now. That's the thing with him being an infantry officer. You cannot say your orders once in game. You have to repeat yourself numerous times and make sure everyone leaves at the same time. You can't be leaving and saying orders. You gotta wait a minute and then go. Obviously, there's a lot of things you're thinking about when you're actually on the field. I do know that, but if you want the best chances, you've got to do it.
Once again, Union charges and then blames the rest for not charging. Oh well.
It's never my fault.
No.
Actually, it's really... I don't know who made the decision to go out in the field, but it's mostly their fault. But
Hazard probably. Looked like they were sending 2 companies originally. I thought they would try and fight over the rocks at least.
Union has a flag down with a couple dudes standing around it, not picking it up. Oh, level 1. Oh, pick it up. 2 down flags. Hey, they pick them up.
Arthur's trying to wipe Union in the corn.
As he should.
The flags get ordered to pull back.
Wipe them out, wipe them out.
Neither flag was warned and they lost both of them.
That's the one thing. Oh, that's the glories of why I like watching public matches, because a lot of new strategies are tried, which is great, because during regimental matches I normally see a meta played over and over again. And in PUBG, it's random, and it's great. But also sometimes it's like, what they just did was dumb. And that stuff annoys me.
Part of the randomness comes from the fact that there just is randomness.
Right.
You know, like if the other team isn't being predictable, then you have to adapt to that. So it seems like it's random, even though it's just one side being random. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. Like sometimes there are strategies that you think, hey, that might work in regimental, but it's only one company doing it, and it needs more support. Again, it comes back to this. My strategy is good. I'll go off and do it. You guys do your own strategy. I hope these strategies get together, but they never do.
Yep. And I can appreciate strategy if there's some logic behind it. Like, oh yeah, I could see how it could work. It's just this went wrong and this went wrong. What Union did right there was everything was wrong. Everything was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you could even watch like Nico Hill maps on pubs. You got the west side debate and the east side debate, and it's like you can choose one of them, but if you choose both of them, it's not going to work.
Exactly. Exactly. Again, blob is meta. So Matthias running up with like 5-6 guys trying to get flags. What were you saying?
I think blob is a response to a blob. In regimental, they don't blob up because no one blobs. They like being separate from each other, leading their own guys. You know,
Help the flag, help the flag, help the flag.
sticking with their friend group.
All right. I mean, I think events without Steam chats generally have that more too, compared to ones with Steam chat. But Union forming up again. It looks like their officers are talking.
He's pushing the wall. Like, I turn around, I see no other company behind me.
It's too late. They needed to
Yeah,
charge.
no, there was that. Well, okay, that is not at all what I said. I said specifically that if anything, we were just meant to go off to the right, as in you guys could be standing on point, contesting it, just firing at range. All you just spreading you guys out in a line like that. I would have at least tried to ease pressure off the walls. We tried to wrap around. That's exactly what it was. There was not a suicide charge. That's fucking crazy. But
if we try that again, do you think you could fucking gauge the superiority over here?
The officers talking.
Well, if we can do it again, but I'm gonna have to push through the wall. There's no stopping. They've got an entire line focused on the woods. If I stop, it's not gonna work.
Being in the open there in that last attempt.
Unless we honestly just try.
Well, Hazard thought he was doing something and seemed to not have support. It's really interesting hearing what they're talking about, what they think happened, versus what we saw.
Cool.
Man, I think that's
war.
So true. Again, we see everything and they don't see that, and so things are very confused for them. Obviously, I think there are general things that are just dumb, but I mean, that situation fell right out of control quickly for the Union team once they decided to push out into the open, and CSA had great shots, which, why are they pulling all the way down to this left side?
Let them cook. Randomness, remember? Let them cook. They can't expect it.
I mean, if they think... I mean, I could see the logic, though. Like, oh, Union's going to come through the corn, we'll hit them from behind, but they're going right back? Where are they going?
I'll tell you that much. They're being very boring.
I'm not schizophrenic, Arthur.
I mean, if they were confident Union goes corn, I mean, imagine the chaos.
Oh, yeah. They'd hit him from behind. It'd be great. Union artillery hitting really short.
knows what's happening, and Union doesn't.
Yeah. See, like that, I can get some logic behind there. It's the initial what, and then it's like, oh, okay. But 8, basically 9 minutes now. Holy crap. So Union looks like they might be trying to do the same thing again. Hopefully we'll see something different. I heard Senior Daz say go through the wall. At least that's what he might be doing. So actually, is the whole Union team in the corn? Yeah. At least they're coordinating.
Remember, lads, identify your targets, stab and go. Don't fuck about trying to kill one guy. Let the friendlies do it for you.
Artie still has 10 guys. They haven't been doing anything. In fact, there's blood on their gun, meaning they shot themselves.
Okay, why are we hitting short? Why are we hitting this short?
It's a defilade. They have to hit the ground.
Yeah. They just shot there like 2 minutes ago, though. The same exact place. Anyways, Union's pushing forward. I criticize Artie a fair amount because I see that and I'm just kind of like, okay. Yeah. But I guess it's unlike regimentals where you have the ranges, all that. You don't have that in pubs. So
yeah,
Union hitting here. Yeah, sorry.
Even if you had your guns default, you could at least airburst that road. It's pretty predictable with that whole thing.
So Union, they're doing what I thought they would do last time, and CSA caught a little off guard. Union's kind of running out the field, spreading themselves out across the wall. Some Union going up and over as CSA is starting to collapse. Point going in favor of the Union side as Union still trickling out from the corn, getting over here. I think CSA is going to win this.
I don't understand how you can be a minute late to a charge. Don't understand it.
I mean, you just get some people not hearing orders, some people just don't move right away, some people want to finish their reloads, get bayonets.
Oh, you're right, probably reload. Maybe people spawning on flags as they run up.
That true. Honestly, that's probably the biggest cause of it at this point. I wouldn't say that with the flag up there, but CSA dominate that. I think Union's mistake there was, obviously they were very trickled out. Instead of hitting the corner where they started at, Senior Daz took a lot of his guys down the stone wall. So essentially that means Union guys were running for a lot more time trying to get to a position while CSA was engaging the whole time with most of their team. So
I think the most valuable thing Artie could do right now is send a round into the stone wall, end of the stone wall, and blow up the straight fence so infantry can run through the corn. I think that's the best thing they can do. But it's pups.
It'd always be hard.
And once they add snake fence destruction and the other types of destruction, I think Artie would be more useful as a door opener kind of thing for infantry, giving them options to go.
Imagine if you could break down a tree.
That would be really cool. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Well, CSA starting to volley and Union spawn. 5 minutes left in the counter. We'll see what Union's thinking.
Hallelujah! Praise be to the heroes.
At this point, I never infantry CO, but if I were, I would just, have my men hold their rifle butts in the air in quick time.
just have some fun at this point.
Obviously, they're going to be having a lot more guys chasing after us.
Have you ever seen a surrender? I've never seen any surrenders in pubs.
We just make sure we go in at least
the only time I saw a surrender was during the Shiloh European reenactment, which was last year. But that was scripted, obviously. I haven't seen an unscripted surrender from a team.
I've done it like as a Rambo. Like I get caught out for scouting, and I'm like, I surrender. And sometimes they believe me.
I'm working, or a bunch of us are working on a new War Rice tutorial video. I'm getting a lot of footage for it, and I spawned in as a bugle boy yesterday. Spawned in the middle of combat, and CSA dudes were like, "Surrender, surrender!" And I did, and this one came over and stabbed me, and everyone got pissed at the dude. It was so great.
It's always the one guy.
It's always the one guy. They can't ruin it for everybody. Oh! That artillery shot sky high. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. At least they aimed higher. Gotta think of the positives.
I don't know, like, is this something they, when they first released Artie, they were like, hey, we need to put them on these maps, but they didn't know where? Or, like, why?
I honestly don't know. I don't know much of the historicalness of things. I know like Harper's Ferry is mostly ahistorical. I do know some of the Antietam skirmish maps are ahistorical. I don't know anything about South Mountain. Union pushing through the woods here with most of their team. Look how spread out. Some are still back at spawn.
I know. It's crazy. I almost think it would be worth it to stop 50 yards from your enemy. I mean
it's
both would work. One would be more fun. I almost want a map that is like 2,000 yards away, just so I can flat. Like put a gun on one of these, like on the focus defense.
That would be holy crap. CSA dominating that. Some Unions circling around trying to go to points. Drywall, he said he didn't have a flag and he doesn't. And I think he's going to start capping, but he's not going to be able to hold because for some reason that freaking point is on the freaking stone wall. Last question, I think, before we close out, because I think there's going to be a lot of charging here shortly. But what drew you to artillery so much and not so much infantry? Because I know a lot of people obviously prefer infantry, as with that's what most of the players are. But what drew you so much to artillery?
Probably, well, first of all, infantry to me gets a bit boring because I don't have to think, I'm just cogging the machine, but as Artie, I have to remember ranges, constantly think about how I'm aiming, all this. I like it.
That's good. We do need artillery to be better. That's it's much more evident.
Better. Yeah.
As with working on anything in life, if you're working on something and getting bogged down, burnout, seeing a payoff always makes it better. But here comes Union from Maine, very trickled in. I don't see any reason why we would see DSA losing this.
I think it'd be interesting to see how many people on either side are spawned in. It might be balanced, but I have a feeling that only half a Union is spawned in, the other half gave up.
We're holding for 1 minute.
I mean, you can see that with the unenlisted players. Union has 9, Confederates have 2. At least those are just sitting in spawn. Or sorry,
That's
not
why
sitting in
Union
spawn.
lost. Oh, the
Sitting in the main
imbalance.
menu.
Union just couldn't do it with the 9 men.
Oh, of course, of course. The round should not start until it's perfectly even. If there's an odd number of players in the game, oh no. But no, great win from CSA. 2 rounds they won effectively. What were you gonna say?
If you count it all up, that's 10 from just the infantry spawned in, then 11 recruits, so 20, and then 7 already used to be 10, so it's like 30-man imbalance. That's considerable, I think.
Yeah. That's one thing they do need to fix, is that unenlisted players count toward the player total. I do think spectating does, but I've been told by a lot of people it doesn't. But
no, if I swap teams right now, well, I can't swap teams. But if I did, the number wouldn't change.
It wouldn't change. Okay. Well, I appreciate Medical Services you coming on. Any more thoughts for the round or anything at all?
No. Union do better. Come on, Union somewhere love, baby.
So true. So true.
My game crashed. It's crashing right after the Momo.
Damn. I haven't seen that before, but yeah, thank you Medical Services for coming on. Appreciate it a lot. It's nice getting artillery perspective because I have so many infantry people come on, and obviously when I'm doing this by myself so much, I get self-centered in my thoughts and don't get to hear those, and that's what makes this whole thing great. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, subscribe for more. If you want to support the channel more, you can check out the description where we'll have our Discord, our merch, and our Patreon, which again, you can get live broadcasts, you can advertise your regiment on the bottom of our videos, and get raw gameplay footage of everything we do with no commentary and UI. But I appreciate you watching. It means the world. It's great to do this, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. See you in the next one.